Okay, the Msuper motor is now mounted in my workmate. Oops, and Cindy's behind me. Hey, how you doing, Duff here? What you see on the table here is my Msuper V3, an oldie but goodie. The reason it's on the table is I've been having issues with it feeling loose when I am riding it. Let's see if I don't know how well this will come across on the video, but you see this little rocking. There's slop in that. It just feels like it's loose. That it'll especially when you ride it, I really can feel it. It just feels like there's some back and forth movement there that should not be there. So I'm assuming that the axle nuts on this are loose. This has somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 miles on it. A couple of years old, so I guess it's not surprising. This wheel's seen a lot of use. So I'm hoping that I can accomplish this task without much hassle. I have totally replaced the case on this once before, which was lovely. But this video is not going to be a teardown video. If you want to see how I tore down the Msuper V3, you can look at my case replacement video. This is just going to be getting it down to the point where I can access the axle nuts and hopefully tighten them. So let's see. I will just like from a 1,000-mile perspective, just cover the disassembly. Pedals come off, side panels come off each side, and then I'm going to have to get these deeper seated screws out so I can access the nuts on both sides. So let me get started. Just for organization's sake, I'm going to try to keep the screws for each part together. I am going to use a tip that I got from when I did my monster flat repair, where someone suggested with these deep set case screws to just, turn them out with the screwdriver, but don't actually remove them. Just put some blue painter's tape over the holes so it'll keep the screws in. I think it's a solid tip. So we will be trying that for the first time. And I'm kind of thinking that maybe while I have it apart, I will finally put slime in the tire the correct way, since I did try it on this once before and totally screwed it up. So might as well do that now, right? Just removing lots of screws right now. You may see the Speedy Feet sticker. I actually bought this wheel from Ian in the UK when the exchange rate was very favorable between the US and the UK. So yeah. All right, one side off. System board still looking very clean for 800 miles, huh? And I am attempting to do all this just from memory alone, which can be a dangerous thing. Let's see how much I remember or don't remember. I mean, with these Gotway wheels, it's a pretty similar procedure from what I've seen. Okay, I have the non-system board side open. Disconnect the battery connector, and I guess I'll take out these 8 bolts a while. Alright, this should be the last one on this side of the deep set screws. Yep. Alright, so now I'm going to get my painter's tape and cover these all up. Okay, these are all covered. Now I just need to remove these screws down here. Alright, I was hoping I could do this without screwing with the trolley handle, but I think I do have to remove this. I'm positive I have to remove this to actually break the shell apart, unfortunately. As you can see, it's loose, but I gotta get the trolley out. All right, I think all I have to really do is I just remove the grab handle here from the actual telescoping mechanism on the on the trolley handle. I think that's all I got to do. I should be able to break it apart enough. Yeah, by just doing that. All right. I was hoping to get away with not disconnecting all of these wires, but I may have to. Alright, got the non-system board side out. Obviously I had to totally remove the wires to do it. Let's see. Can I tighten it enough at this point? Okay, so as you can see, I have the motor connections disconnected. To do this properly though, I'm going to have to also disconnect these connections on the system board. Which I can tell you, when I did the case swap, these things are ridiculous because of the way that they're encased in silicone from the factory. They should not be so hard to get out this time because they were removed once before. Okay, I have these unplugged. I removed the wire management stuff. I'll have to put it back on. But now this should lift clear of the motor. So this is what you need to get down to do this, which, to be honest with you, I think sucks. I think it's ridiculous that Gotway doesn't use a better mounting system for their pedal hangers, that this is not something that's required to have to rip apart the wheel to this degree to fix it. It's pissing me off as I think about it. Alright, so I did bring in my workmate. I've seen Marty do this on his Monster, and I think another wheel he's done this on. But he's used his workmate as a good surface to lock the pedal hangers down while you're cranking on it. So let me rearrange my stuff in here and see if I can do it. Okay, the Msuper motor is now mounted in my workmate. Oops, and Cindy's behind me. Okay, so I've had this tool sitting in my garage for a long time for a rainy day. I actually ordered this. This was a recommendation by Chooch, actually. I guess he's used this in tightening the nuts on his Msuper. And yeah, it fits in there almost perfectly. So that's cool. It's a 21-inch nut, or 21 millimeter socket. So I have it flat on the workbench. I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to lean on it hard. And what they call these spacers, I don't remember what the proper word is for this. I mean, they all look okay to me. To tighten it. So let's see how it goes. Alright. I need to tighten it while keeping these from moving. I believe I'm going to need to clamp them down. Alright, my solution is a big C-clamp on this side, holding down this side. Hopefully locking this side in place will allow me to tighten this side. Let's see. Okay, it does appear to hold it, and as you can tell, I have the ability to turn this. Not a lot, but there was definitely a little bit of looseness in there. And there might have been an eighth of a turn, maybe? I don't know. I'm putting my weight on it. Alright, that is tight. So now I'm going to just spin the wheel around and try to do the other side. See, the reason that this is nice is because you can actually fish the wires through. Otherwise, you need to actually have a slot if you want to be able to get a wrench on this because of the wires on this side. So that is why this particular wrench is very handy. I can probably find the link to it. I bought it on Amazon, so I'll post the link for this wrench on Amazon. Okay, there you go. See what I mean? All right, so let's Let's see what kind of turn we get on this side. Not a whole lot. The other side was looser for sure. Alright, so now we are going to attempt to do the slime. First, let all the air out of the tire. I have a little valve tool that also included some new stems. So let's first let all the air out. Now this core should turn out, the valve core should turn out. Never done this. But this tool you can just get at any automotive store. Alright, there you go. Stem is out. I think I'm going to put one of my new stems in here. Alright, so now something else that's been sitting in my garage forever that I've never used. So this goes over there. This is for a motorcycle tire. Scooter 8 ounces. Alright, well if it says 8 ounces for a scooter, then I'm going to say 8 ounces for this. So now I just need to see, is there a measurement thing? Okay, so this is a 16 ounce bottle. So I guess I should be putting in approximately half. Sort of looks like green jello. It's kind of hard to see how much you've actually put in. Definitely goes in a lot better this way. When I tried to do this before, I stupidly didn't realize that you had to remove the valve stem before trying to install slime. So yeah, it accomplished nothing. Okay, I gotta be almost half there. Okay, actually just a little bit more. Alright, if that's not 8 ounces, it's damn close. Just kind of farted out some slime. So now I'm going to put in one of my new valve stems. It's kind of a pain to do because of the stupid angle that these valves are on EUCs. Alright. Now my only concern is, I mean, this tire is totally deflated. Oh no, never mind. This isn't a tubeless tire. I was going through the same nightmare as I did with the Mini Pro where you had to seat the bead, but since this is not tubeless, it should not be a problem. So let's take my handy dandy Ryobi inflator, which is awesome. Try this one instead. This is so awesome. Just digitally set your pressure that you desire. It's recommended 35 to 45 psi, so we'll start with 35 and just do that. Okay, there you go. It always inflates like a psi or two over. So in theory, when you remove it, you're at the pressure that you wanted. I probably should have gone another couple psi, but I think we're okay. 35 for now is good. So disconnect this, unscrew this quickly. All right, and we hardly lost anything. Okay, so now my axle nuts should be tight. I have slime in my tire, so now we get to put it back together. Okay, after a coffee break, I'm ready to reverse the process. Time to put this thing back together. I'm sure it will go fantastic. Like I said, I have dug into this before. It's just slow and steady. Slow and steady. Obviously the first step is feeding the wires back through the side of the shell with the system board in it. I'm going to attach some of these screws down here just to tighten this up so it's not flopping around, and then I'll work on getting my connections back together. Okay, I am just put my bullet connectors back together. Let's put these other system board connectors back in. 3 of them are side by side. These 3. And I need to get the wire wrap shit back on. Alright, I think that's how the wire wrap is on. So I have that all connected again. Now I need to get the other half on and fish the wires through. So that can be a little tricky, but we will go slowly and steadily. There must be some wire that comes from that side over here as well to connect to this. I don't quite remember. I'm sure it will become apparent when I flip it over. Flipping all these wires through here. And they all fell through. Okay. Yeah, just screw in a couple of these cross screws just to keep the case together. That might help. I had this laying on the floor, so I believe this goes through these double ends here, go through to the system board side, and this connects over here. So these and this needs to go through. And trying to get these wires through when it's sort of snapped back together is challenging. Probably better to try to do this while you have the shells separated more. I'm real close, and I can easily separate it, but see if I can get it this way. Alright, this is not conventional, but probably ideal. What I've been doing is feeding it from the top and then using my needle nose underneath and just pulling them through. Okay. I have them fed through. I'm going to try to tuck the wires. Wish I would have paid more attention to how they were routed on this side. Okay, I think they were something like this. Makes sense, they're in that little channel there. So this side should be pretty good to go. Okay, we got it flipped over, so now we need to reconnect wires. This single connector goes here. These connect here. And then the battery connector, one goes here, one goes there. Alright, so before totally completing the install, I want to turn it on, make sure everything works. And I have that slot that I had in the rocking, that does appear to be gone. So that was the ultimate goal. So let's see if we can button this up for good. Alright, so now I have the wires tucked back into place. You obviously want to make sure that there's no spot where they are blocking one of the screw mounts, because that would be bad. So now I'm starting to put these cross screws back in to secure the upper half of the shell together. This using the painter's tape to hold the screws in worked very well. Just one thing to keep in mind when you're putting this back together is these screws are just going into cheap plastic mounts. These are cheap screws going into cheap plastic mounts. So you want to snug them up, but do not, if you crank them too hard, you're going to either break the mount or strip the screw head. So tight, but do not make it crazy tight, because I have broken these off in the past. Okay, at this point all the screws are back in. The seam. The seam, yeah, it's good enough. Looks good there. So now I'm putting the side covers back on. Alright, she's back together. I'm gonna clean up my mess in here and take it out for a test ride. Alright, so after doing this, I want to rerun the leveling routine. Try to get the pedals as level as possible. I think I did that wrong. Let's do this again. Connect. It's been a while. Alright, it says I'm connected. Enter horizontal. Alright, so now I think I can turn it off. Now I can put it on the stand. You get those 3 quick beeps and then the long beep. Once you get that long beep, that's when you can turn it off. And then it should have been calibrated to whatever level you set it at. So let's see how this feels. I think I also need to put the pedals in hard mode. Or strong, whatever the hell they call it. Connected, mode selecting, powerful mode. I just plan to do a short ride to school and back, but it's been quite chilly today. We actually had a thunderstorm roll through in the middle, well, no, I shouldn't say in the middle, right in the, before dawn. There's a thunderstorm that rolled through, brought a cold front, I guess, which is Florida's version of the extreme cold that's hitting most of the country right now. But it's been like in the upper 60s all day, so I would be quite chilly, and it's very windy. I would be quite chilly doing this with just my normal attire, which is a t-shirt and you know, nothing else. So it's pretty good. All right, now let's go. All right, I can instantly tell the difference. I'm not getting that subtle looseness in the balance position that I was before, so that makes me feel good. And plus, I got slime in the tire now, which makes me feel even better because this thing used to kind of slow leak on me. Man, it's windy. We're talking gusts in the 20s and 30s right now, so not the best time to do your ride. But it's nice, now that I've done this, I'll get the Msuper out on the road more. It really has been collecting cobwebs a lot lately, so I'll be more apt to ride it now. In the middle of my extended weekend, I took 3 days around Martin Luther King Jr. Weekend here, so I'm still off until through Wednesday. As usual, I've been doing lots of projects, and my list, actually, this is the last thing on my list. So in theory, my remaining 3 days should be more enjoyable. Wheel just started beeping at me for some reason. I wonder if the tilt back settings got reset. All right. Still shows 70% battery, so I'm just wondering if the default speed warnings came in there. So let me see if it's any different. Weird. I am getting a beep here and there. I'm not going that fast. Let me look at my speed. Yeah, I'm going 33 kilometers an hour. Nothing crazy. Maybe I'm just used to riding faster. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, it's riding fine, but it definitely is. The beep's kicking in slower than it normally would. This hasn't been charged in a while, but it is showing 60% battery right now, so ride it around a little bit and see how it acts. It's been annoying. 2 of the projects I was working on my list, my 7 or 8 item list, was 2 projects on 2 of my 3D printers, and both of them were sort of failures. One of them was an epic failure. So I'm glad that at least this part of it seemed to go better. I think so. I mean, it's riding okay outside of those phantom beeps. Pedals definitely feel better. And slime is definitely inside the tires, so 1 out of 3 isn't a great percentage, but better than 0. This is an odd time to inject this, but tonight there is a live stream. Tonight, Sunday, 8 p.m., more or less. I doubt that this video will even be uploaded by then, but yeah, live stream tonight, every 2 weeks. Be there, be square. Yeah, it was so nasty this morning that Cindy and I didn't even go out and ride. It was just cold, and it was still kind of raining a little bit, just nasty. So yeah, no normal Sunday ride. I just stopped there for a second. I went into the new Gotway app, because in the old app, your only options are to open or close the first and second alarm. You can't, like, and the tilt back speed setting seemed weird. So I went into the new app and set it. So we'll see if it makes any difference. See if I still get those weird beeps. Okay, it seems to be allowing me to go faster without beeping now. I forget that, you know, the Msuper V3 is not as fast as my KingSong 18XL or the Monster, so I'm kind of used to riding speeds I can comfortably cruise out on those wheels, which is definitely slower than what I would comfortably cruise at on the Msuper V3, so gotta keep that in mind. Alright, that's enough of a test. I just wanted to make sure that basic functionality is restored, and that the slop in the pedals was better, and both of those things seem to be true. Almost home. I assume those are 80% of available power beeps, I guess. You know, weird, but like I said, I haven't charged this in a while. Alright, so now it shows I'm at 50% battery. When I started, it started at 80 and now it's down to 50. That was only a, it doesn't actually show my current mileage. That was like a 6-mile round trip, something like that, maybe 7. But it works. That's the important thing, right? Alright, so I have the Msuper down here, back in the charger. I'll give it another try over the next day or two with it right off the charger and see if it top end gets a little bit better. But it seems like that 80% beep was kicking in like, I don't know, 35 kilometers an hour, so unusual. You know, the Msuper, with this one I could usually comfortably cruise low 20s maybe. I never really took it more than that. I guess the top end is technically more, maybe 26. You know, because this is the older, only 67-volt model. So we'll see. But I'm just glad that the slop is out of the pedals and that I have slime in the tires to hopefully help with the slow leak problem I had. And I got a refresher on how to rip it apart. Because basically that's not quite as bad as what I had to do when I replaced the shell, but it was only a few screws away from doing it. So good refresher. And not fun, but not horrible if you just take your time and think about what you're doing, I guess. So anyways, don't forget about the live stream tonight. If you found this video interesting or helpful, I know it's lengthy, I apologize for that. Please give the video a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. And feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, feedback, jokes, commentary below. That's all I have for you for now. Hope you're having a good weekend. Until next time, definitely out.